That's concerning the song. Concerning the video, from your first video, Al-Muallim, until today, as I said, you've created the genre, you and Hani Osama particularly. First of all, you're one of the few lucky artists who have access to international facilities when it comes to your business. But still, you choose Hani Osama, an Egyptian director, you choose to shoot your videos with him, and even when you traveled, it was with him too. Why Hani Osama in particular?
Well, when you have something that works, why would you want to change it? You know, I have something that works. You know, many people say to me, why don't you take from other people's music? Why don't you take other people's compositions, other people's lyrics? I have an excellent lyricist. I have Bara. I have my best friend. He's writing really nice lyrics. In terms of melodies and music, well, you know, I don't have a problem with melodies and composition. Alhamdulillah, it's working. Also, I have an excellent director. You know, I have Hani Osama. He's excellent. Now, why would I go and why would I, just for the sake of prestige, you know, oh, I recorded in France, and I recorded in England with Mr. George Johnson.
An American director who worked in this movie and this,
when I have an excellent, I have access to work with you. You know, I can work with these people. It's not a problem at all. But why, when I have an excellent director like Hani Osama, and he feels me, he feels my music, he's done a brilliant job up to now, and this video, inshallah, will be something very special, very stylish, simple, but very elegant and very stylish and beautiful. And you know, I have a very good team.
Yeah. And you feel, I feel that you're really having a good vibe about this video and this work.
I'm really
how challenging is it to find a new idea for your videos, especially that, as I said, they're very different, and I don't think they're that variant in choice. So how do you choose, and how challenging is it to find a creative idea for your video specifically, and how does it work?
It's not easy. I think initially, and this is what I said on CNN and on ABC when I was in the States. There's an emotion, you know, that you start off with when you're composing, and that emotion goes through many different chains and processes. Like, you know, the song is then arranged, then you put lyrics, and then you put this, and then that, and then it's produced, and in the end, this thing comes out. I think the most important thing is to preserve that initial emotion, that initial simple thing that came out. Keep it blessed. Oftentimes it doesn't happen. Oftentimes you have a producer, he makes a song, and then by the end of the different processes, it's lost. That emotion is lost. Alhamdulillah, up to now, because I have full control over my own music, musically and arrangement-wise, that happens. Alhamdulillah, you know, that feeling that I start off with, it doesn't become diluted, it doesn't evaporate somehow.
And it moves on to the video too.
Exactly. And then when I get to Hani, I also like to, because I'm a control freak with my music, he's also very like this, and that's important, and I respect that. So he says, look, although he doesn't like to admit it, you know, it's very, oh, you can tell me your ideas, no problem, but he's very into it, you know, and I respect that, because that's what I'm like with my music. So he has a concept, he has an idea, and he develops it, and I just give some few emotions here and there. Hani, what do you think of this? Hani, what do you think of this idea? Hani, what do you think of this emotion? Do you think I should maybe smile here? Do you think maybe... So that way we have a very strong bond and a very good team, very good partnership.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
When you look back at Al-Muallim, your very first video, your very first introduction to the Arab world and to the world in general, and you look now at the latest video, and you go through all the videos and all the years. It's not much, but still, it's a budding, mashallah, and it's a very well-going career. How do you find Al-Muallim now, looking back at this video? How do you find the stage, and how do you find yourself now? What's different about Sami Yusuf?
I think I've developed. I've kind of developed in all ways, in terms of my voice, in terms of my music, in terms of my compositions, in terms of even my outlook. Perhaps in some ways, but I think the most important thing, and this is something again I said in the States as well in my interviews with ABC, that I don't want to be known as a Christian artist or a Muslim artist or a Jewish artist. I'm an artist, you know, and who happens to be a Muslim. This is very important for me, because after I released Al-Muallim, I didn't know that I would be put into a package, and you know, I'd only be aired in iftar time, Ramadan time on some channels. Some people they kind of, because they didn't know what is this, you know, what is this kind of music, what is this genre? This is new.
You
How do we deal with it?
That?
Yeah, I just want to be creative with my thing, you know, with my music, with my art, and alhamdulillah, that kind of sparked a whole wave of singers and a whole wave of artists bifadlillah. You know, I
I'm just going to ask you that. I mean, there's this new wave. As I said, you've created a genre, but at the same time also you've created a movement in music. How do you find that? Especially that some of these artists are really more or less are copy-paste from Sami Yusuf. And like, we have to admit it. You've seen it, I've seen it, everybody saw it. So what's your opinion about that? Is it a good thing, is it a bad thing? How do you see it? And be honest, please.
I believe, this is my honest opinion, I believe that there is good art and there's bad art. It's not about saying Ya Rasulullah or Ya Allah, or it's not about these things. There's good art and there's bad art. I choose to work in the field of good art. I try to keep myself, because it's who I am, you know, it's how I was brought up. You know, I don't believe, we were discussing this the other day, I don't believe in, you know, you're good in your private life, but you choose to live another life, you know, with your work. I believe, you know, it's very important that whoever you are, whoever you choose to be, you know, you can't have a double personality, you know. Be who you are in your work and in your private life as well. And I choose, personally, I choose to be, you know, someone who engages in good art and engages in making good art and good compositions, I hope, inshallah, dignified work. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all the time it should be about religion, you know, explicit religious connotations.
Of course.
It can be about anything, and we have plenty of good artists. We have plenty of good art out there. It's not just whoever sings religious songs, it's good, and there's this kind of puristic outlook on, oh, here's the light and here's darkness. That's dangerous, you know. That's a very dangerous way of looking at things. There's plenty of good art and artists out there, and there's also a lot of, you know, not nice stroke trash out there too, you know, which is being blunt, and it's important that, especially for Arabs and Muslims and Christian Arabs, whoever, you know, Middle Eastern people, it's important that we reflect. And I've got Eastern blood, you know, in me, you know. So it's in my veins, you know. It's very natural. At the end of the day, I grew up in England, but still, I was brought up in a hybrid kind of situation between East and West. You know, I have an Eastern family and my parents, so it's important that we reflect our true culture. Our true culture is not someone belly, you know, it's not all belly dancing, boom, boom, bada, boom, boom. That's not the true, walk on the streets of Cairo. That's not the true, you know, that's there. Okay, but why is it 95% that and like 5% decent good art? You know, why? It should be the opposite. It should be 95% decent good art. And, you know, if there's going to be any other stuff, there should be 5%, 4%, it should be, but unfortunately, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. You know, it's just, it's a shame. But I also believe there's so many, mashallah, young youth, there's so many young guys, talented guys like yourself, like your team, like, you know, they're around. I personally know many musicians, they play in my orchestra. Excellent, you know, very, mashallah, talented. They're doing some really great projects. And I think the future is really bright, really is bright for art in the Middle East and in the Muslim world in general. And it has a huge international potential as well, inshallah.